Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. I'm going to talk a little bit about the next big bull run and massive crash that will inevitably happen. I'm going to talk about why this will inevitably happen because it will happen. Right now, the situation is mirroring a lot 2016, 2017. I still believe that we're more in 2016 than 2017. Probably going to go up for the next year and a half or so, culminating in a bull run at the end of next year. But it will come crashing down. Some of you are like, but utility is taking over and it shouldn't crash down. Yeah, it's going to crash. And there's a good reason that it's going to crash. It's the same reason we're going to fly really high. As you know, over $7 billion have actually been staked in DeFi so far. And that number is growing exponentially by the day. You can actually see it go up day by day. A lot of people are gambling on DeFi. Honestly, I don't think there's that many people actually using DeFi to finance or to take loans to buy stuff. I actually think people are just gambling to make money on DeFi. Like a lot of it is due to yield farming, and that is a little bit like the ICO craze. Actually, it's a lot like the ICO craze of 2015. And as you notice, regulators haven't clamped down on DeFi yet, but they are like sharks circling, and they smell blood. With things like Spaghetti gathering $500 million within a couple of hours, and then other projects which are unbacked, uncollateralized, unsecured loans. And this isn't like the bank, which actually has methods to go after your assets if you actually default on one of those loans. If someone defaults on one of those like unsecured, uncollateralized loans, you're essentially just screwed. So there's going to be a lot of screaming people that have actually lost money, and people are going to cry scam, and the SEC will swoop in and take care of things. So I actually think this is going to be bigger than the ICO craze of 2017, because I think eventually you're going to get many, many billions of dollars. You already have 7 billion. I wouldn't be surprised if you get like 100 billion, over 100 billion dollars staked in DeFi by the end of next year. And then it all comes crashing down because there's massive scams hurtling in the industry. I mean, the scams are not only because people ran off with the money, it's because like a lot of these DeFi projects, their code base is just plain awful. And there's actually problems that people have pointed out months in advance, and they just haven't gotten around to fixing because either they don't care or it was never intended to be a long-term project anyways. Like AAVE, it might be a good project, but it surpassed MakerDAO very quickly. Same thing with Comp and all those things. People are just not watching where their money is actually going. They're just rushing in and FOMOing, and we all know how that ends. And a lot of these, like a lot of the projects are going to be smaller ones that are unsecured, unbacked and stuff like that, or they say they're backed, but they're really, really not. And there's really no regulations in this industry, which means I think it's even more wild, wild west than the ICOs of 2017. We hear about scams and hacks like every few weeks, and that's just like, that's even worse than it was back then. There's like a mini BitConnect like every week. And some of these projects like Spaghetti are basically like set up to be BitConnects. They literally tell you that they don't really have a plan, they don't really have a purpose, and they basically, it's a meme coin, and people are still investing billions of dollars into this meme coin. That just set up for disaster, and you can bet that the regulatory sharks are circling around. So I think like towards like this time next year, you'll see a sudden spike up, or maybe it'll be before this time next year. You'll see a massive, massive spike up as more and more people just rush into DeFi, pump that market up. That'll pull the rest of the market up, and then the SEC is going to lay the smackdown on them and basically like choke slam them into the ground, and that will actually cause the next crash. And I think monetarily it'll probably be even worse than the last one in terms of cryptocurrencies. I don't think Bitcoin will go down to like 3,000 again, but I think Bitcoin might go up to like 60, 70,000 because of this whole like DeFi craze. And then after the whole DeFi craze, it's going to crash to like 6 or 7,000 again. That's my guess, because I think the SEC and the regulators are going to come down very, very hard once people start losing massive amounts of money, which I think inevitably in a market like this is going to happen. So that's what I think is going to cause the next flash rise and flash crash. And, but all your coins are going to go up during this flash rise, especially those of you that have invested in DeFi. Just know when to actually cash out. When you actually hit your number, cash out some. If you've gone up 20x, cash out some. Don't wait until it goes ever higher, because it inevitably will come crashing down once the regulators get their hands on this, once people start losing a lot of money. So that is the news and video for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.